Hey guys, thanks for joining me on my journey of joy, grief, and authenticity. And today I am in the kitchen because I'm just trying out different things and trying to figure out what really works for me. Well, I got some new glasses in the mail, which I love. And okay, so I got 4 pair, which is really something to celebrate because I love it. So I got this pair. I got this big black pair. Then I got some lavender ones. Oh, I like those too. And I got these really fun ones, and I call them my clown glasses, but they're so cool. I don't care. See, I got that little diamond right there. Ah, little triangle. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. I love these. I got them from firmoo.com. Super cheap. You can buy one, get one free. And they're decent glasses. I have gotten some wire-rimmed glasses there, and they're a little flimsy. So if you plan on playing football in them, be careful. But for the most part, it's no big deal for me. Last week, I got my hair cut. Yay! I like it. I like it. So another joy was the IF gathering. Oh my goodness. I could do a whole episode on that. I should do a whole episode on that, actually. I just love it. Every year. I love, love, love it. And this year, the big takeaway for me was, it was really the idea that we can pray really big prayers, and the idea of being vulnerable and praying those really big prayers. So that's what I've been doing. I met a new friend recently, and she's been watching the blog, and we have just kicked it off so great. And her name is Joy Strong. Isn't that a great name? I love it. Oh, and she is on a journey towards joy, which is kind of her tagline, which I love. And she has a story of her own that I will share with you eventually. Actually, I think she might come on and share it with you herself. And then tonight, after I get through filming, I'm going to go and babysit Charlie, little Charlie. You guys know my friend Casey Nelson, who was on a previous episode and struggled for a long time to start a family of her own and experienced a lot of loss along the way. And they now have Charlie. And so I get to go hold him and snuggle him. And I can't wait. I already know that that's one of the highlights of my week, even though it's about to happen. Okay guys, so I am so excited to introduce this week's guest. It is my sister-in-law, Jessica Fite. You are going to love hearing from her and how honest she is. It's what just really blessed me once I got to watch this clip.
Hi, my name is Jessica. I'm Hilarie's sister-in-law, and she asked me to do a video blog this week for her. It couldn't be a better week because it's Heart Week. And what I mean by that is because where a lot of my personal joy and grief comes from is my son Jonah, who is 9 years old now. He was born with several congenital heart defects, hence the Heart Week specialness of this. He had 3 major heart surgeries before he was 3 years old. The first one when he was just a week old. And it's nothing that can be cured. It's just to fix him up as good as we can for as long as we can. And there's a whole lot of not knowing. And when there's a whole lot of not knowing what's going on with the health and the wellness of your child who you love more than anything on this earth, there's a lot of grief that comes with that. Personally, I have moments where I feel like I'm already grieving or I'm preparing to be grieving for his loss because I get all these doubts and bad thoughts in my mind and like wondering when the next bad thing is going to happen because his life has not been easy by any means, even aside from heart surgeries. He has high-functioning autism, otherwise known as Asperger's, and it's been a little bit of a struggle to learn how to deal with that as well. But we're learning and we're all getting better. He brings so much joy because you wouldn't know there was anything wrong with him by looking at him, and he really has no idea how strong he is, how amazing his life is, and just like the amount of fullness in my heart that I get whenever I think about him. And I have those memories of him being in the hospital and seeing his chest open in an ICU room, but he doesn't. And that is a blessing. And for him to have that much trauma and to not have to remember it, that's probably the only positive out of that situation of his early childhood. He has one ventricle that is pumping for his whole body and lungs, and his main arteries are backwards. They're kind of sewn together beneath his aortic valve. He's missing a tricuspid valve, and his mitral valve, which is on the only side of his heart that works, is leaking. He also deals with high blood pressure. He takes blood pressure medicine every day and aspirin as well. He sees a cardiologist regularly, and with that comes EKGs and echoes and everything else. Along this journey that we've had, I have come to points where I realize I can't mentally, emotionally handle all of what's going on by myself. I can get very irritable and snappy and angry, and I got introduced to anti-depressants. For the longest time, I was like, oh, I can just pray through this. It's all in my head. I just got to stay positive. But then one day I was just like, I'm going to give it a try. And I take antidepressants and anxiety medication. Jonah isn't the only thing, that sometimes causes these symptoms in me. It could be other things, triggers that trigger it, but then whenever I do get triggered, I also go to that bad place of when is the next bad thing that's going to happen to him? When is it going to happen? What's the next bad thing that's going to happen here or there or anywhere else? And I need to be out of bed. I need to not be snappy with my family. I didn't ever need these before I had my sweet boy, but I do now, and I think it's important to recognize that that's okay, and it's okay to talk about it, and it's okay that there's going to be stressful times in your life that you might need something like that. I fully believe that God gives good doctors so much knowledge to help us with the ever-changing world. If that wasn't true, then Jonah wouldn't be here. He's had an amazing medical team. He had a surgeon and surgery team that knew exactly what they were doing at exactly the right times. And because of that, he has made it through, and he's a joy and a blessing in my life. It's Valentine's week, but it's also Congenital Heart Defect Awareness Week. And having a child with a non-curable heart, it brings you a lot of grief. It turns you into a very authentic person because you can't hide these feelings, and it brings a lot of joy with all of the good things. So just wanted to share. Thanks, guys. Bye.
So I'm really glad that Jessica shared what she did, because her and I have actually had some conversations about antidepressants and the value that they can bring and how scary they've seemed for some people, and depending on how you were raised even. And so my story that kind of piggybacks off of hers is that I have been taking antidepressants, and I haven't felt comfortable sharing that with people, and that's sad, because that's what this blog is all about. Nobody really cares but me, and the people that care are the people who are going to be able to relate to this. so it's even more perfect. In the world of Christianity, it can be really easy for people to say that you need to pray your worries away, and that if you just pray enough, that that'll go away and God will replace your pain. I just want to be careful in how we stereotype people and assume that they are not trying hard enough if they are on medicine. I was getting to a place where I didn't care about all the things that God had placed in my life and given me responsibility over, and I had to take responsibility for that again. I didn't quite eloquently think through exactly how I was going to say all of that, but bottom line, let's not stereotype people, and probably more people than you think are on medicine and can relate to you. Don't forget that joy comes with the mourning, and keep in mind, this week is Random Acts of Kindness week, and Sunday is the day. Sunday, February 17th. You guys, do something nice for somebody. You never know what situation people are in and what they're struggling with. Do a random act of kindness and you will not regret it. I assure you.